This is definitely not your grandmother's Dart. This 1967 Dodge Dart two-door hardtop is powered by a built 360 engine, Edelbrock aluminum heads, Hedman headers, power steering, power brakes. This is just an absolute street beast. I would classify this as a driver quality hot rod. It is not a show quality car by any means, but it's just a great running, driving hot rod. It still supports its original grille, front bumper. Front bumper is really nice and straight on it, but if you look up close, it's definitely going to need to be re-chromed. It has a just that separation in the chrome. As far as the grille goes, it does have a GT grille in it. I do not think this is an original GT car. As far as the motor goes though, very high horsepower 360. Again, aluminum heads. It does have an aluminum radiator as well. Also comes with its fender tag. Does not have the hood springs to hold the hood up. The previous owner just had a prop rod on it. It still has its hood latch, but also has the hood pins for safety. This car's got a few chips and scratches, stuff like that. Still has its original, some of its original paint in the trunk and hood jams. It's been repainted at least once. It's a nice dark green metallic, done in a driver quality, probably 10-15 years ago, and it still looks real good today for a driver. It's riding on a really nice set of Krager SS chrome rims, raised white letter tires. Hood lines up very nicely to the top of the fender on both sides. Nice even gap front to back. Does have the cutout for the air. It's kind of a crappy, rainy, windy day today. So we're just gonna might be a little harder to hear. As far as the lower fenders, absolutely perfect. No bubbles or blisters anywhere there. We got a couple little scratches here that have been touched up. Other than that, guys, our front fender looks great. Very straight, very nice. As we come around here to the lower door, no bubbles or blisters. No blisters in the back side of the door. There's two little tiny dings just above my finger here, just a tiny little ding. And there's one more right here, very, very small. Other than that, the rest of the door looks good. At one point we had a chrome door edge guard, so that was taken off, so there's just a little bit of a glue residue right along that door edge. But take a look at that door gap. I mean, just perfectly straight and even from top to bottom. We'll go a little back here a little further on this lower quarter. Absolutely no bubbles or blisters in front of the wheel, over the wheel, or behind the wheel, guys. I mean, this is a super solid car. I'm going to go inside here so you can hear me a little better, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the floors and frame and all that kind of stuff, because this is a super solid Dart. If you go to our website, coyoteclassics.com, you're going to see our undercarriage pictures. I think there's 25 of them there. We power washed it about 2 or 3 times. It's got its original green paint under its factory dealer installed undercoat, so you can check all that out on our website. Very solid frame rails, torque boxes, the suspension, everything is super solid on it. As we go here to the door panel is in excellent shape. The window cranks and door handles themselves are pitted. It looks like the door panels have been recovered. Armrest base is really good. Armrest pad is new. Dash pad looks good. We have a few little tiny little stress cracks in it, not bad. They're not busted open or nothing, but there's just three little ones there. This is a really neat car. You can tell it's definitely a hot rod. It's cammed up. It's got a lot of motor in it. It's got a 4-speed with a Hurst shifter. New carpet. The scuff plates look real decent on it. As we look at the door jamb itself, the paint's not perfect on this car, but very presentable for a driver. As we look at the bottom corner of the door, it's absolutely perfect. No body filler, no issues there in the corner. When this guy repainted and redid this car years ago, he started with a super solid car. Dome light works, headliner is excellent, very nice. I don't see any rips, tears, anything like that in the headliner. Visors look original. Appears to me, and I'm not an expert on these darts, but appears to me it's the correct bucket seats in this car. It's got the correct emblems in the seats, the patterns are matching perfectly. It's got seat belts, looks like the factory seat belts in the back, and I'm guessing it was a dark green car with a dark green bucket seat interior, and when they did the interior they recovered the carpet, headliner, and seats and door panels in a black, because the original seat belts are dark green still. Back door panels were redone as well, brand new. All this trim is new. Ashtrays in the back are new. Armrest bases and pads are new. Back shelves redone, headliners redone, 6x9s in the back. They did a really nice job on the interior. Very comfortable seats. It looks like they must have put some pads in the seats. Did a really nice job in there. The door shuts great, lines up great. There's no hidden rust issues anywhere that I've seen. It's got a really nice dual exhaust system on it. Sounds great. I mean, you can just lightly see the cam in that car. I mean, it's got kind of shaking the whole car a little bit if I hold this steady. It does have an electric fuel pump with an electric fuel pump shut-off switch on it. Back bumper is the exact same as a front bumper, nice and straight, but it does need to be re-chromed. It's definitely, you can tell, even at 10 foot, you can tell it needs to be re-chromed. The chrome is just all leaving it. The tail lights are really nice. The chrome around the tail lights are original and really decent shape. Check out our gap here on this trunk lid and how nicely that fits. Both sides, it fits excellent. Same thing around the back window, guys. No one tried to fill all these in, and no one really did a hodgepodge job on this at all. I mean, this is just a really good, solid car to start with. As we look up and down the sides, really a pretty straight car. I mean, the fenders line up beautifully to the doors. Same thing with the quarters and the lines. It's just not a perfect $15,000 paint job, just a driver paint job. So as far as looking at a rear quarter, absolutely no bubbles or blisters. It's got 3 scratches that were touched up with the wrong color green. 1, 2, and 3. But over the wheel well, in front of the wheel, lower door. I mean, this thing is just rock solid. Look how nice that door fits. It doesn't stick out at all on the bottom. The body lines are good. Also right here, guys, I took a picture of it too, but it's got a scratch here, here, and here, and somebody touched it up with kind of a darker green. That don't look very good. As we look at the roof, there's no hail damage, never had any hail damage, nice and straight. I didn't mention this before either, but we have disc brakes in front, so we got power disc brakes on this car. As far as our front fender goes, absolutely perfect. No dents or scratches that I can see. Lower fender's excellent. No bubbles or blisters. A really nice fender to door gap, and as it fits here. If somebody wants to make a perfect show car, you know, and you want to put a new paint job on it, do a couple things, if that's what you want, it'd be an easy one to do it to, because it's so solid and straight and true. But the paint job on this car, guys, for a driver is just fine. Corner of the door is excellent. Again, our door panel is nice. They repainted all like the black on the rest of it, but this one here looks to me like it's just from having your arm out kind of thing is wore out. The paint needs to be repainted on the top of the door. Also, when they redid the door jambs and stuff, you can see there's some overspray in the door jambs. The door jamb paint isn't that nice. Driver's side seats, excellent. Back seats, great. Really nice interior. You just don't see too many of these darts with the buckets. Our e-brake works, and so does the light on the dash. It's got an aftermarket tachometer. Alternator gauge works. The oil pressure and temperature gauge down here, guys, we need to check out those because neither one of those are working right now. They're on our work ticket to do. There is a fuel gauge down here, and that works. It's full of fuel. It's got a Sony CD player with 6x9s in the back. Pretty loud speakers in there. It's also got the original AM radio. Heater fan works, believe that or not. Horn works. Our temperature gauge and fuel gauge on the dash are not working. That's why they got the aftermarket gauges down here, which we have to hook up the oil pressure and the temp gauge yet. So anyway, like I said, as far as the hot rod goes, I mean, this thing's got a lot of motor. I personally haven't driven it down the highway yet, but my technician said it's a super fast car. So we'll see what it does here. Those power disc brakes work great. Pedal feels nice. The only thing that feels different to me is it's got, as far as the clutch goes, I think it's got a racing clutch in it. Clutch don't release until it's a little further out. I can tell it's going to be a tough one to drive with all the power. One hand on the camera, that's for sure. Transmission sounded really good going down into second there. As far as our synchros, there's going right up into first. Synchros are great there. Front end feels good on it, goes nice and straight down the road. Here's our brakes, absolutely no pull left or right. The brake pedal feels great.